somber vibe, somber. Um, I am having a hard time not getting emotional because we just lost our final surviving founding father of the New Yorican Poets Cafe, Miguel Algarin. He passed away on December 1st. And yes, rest in power, Miguel. Thankfully, I have Advocate of Words here with us. Our Monday night host is here. Again, I think it's becoming it's becoming a thing. um, yeah, I'm trying to um, I don't know. I'm trying to do this right, and um, I'm having a hard time.
Bruja, I know it's your show, and I don't want to interject. But can we hear a story about Miguel?
Yes.
Do you
Well,
think maybe we could do that? You know, I know you like to
I have
open up with a
so many
poem.
stories about Miguel.
All right, then tell a dirty one. For those who don't know, Miguel Agarin was great for literature, but he was dirty too and funny. But go ahead. I'm sorry, Bruja.
um, I had the list here and now I have lost the list. Oh my God, sweet Jesus. Um, okay. Miguel Algarin was hilarious. He was almost too much. He was born, I wrote this. Let me read just what I wrote so I don't get too swept away. Miguel Algarin, born on September 11, 1941. Even Jesus had to call 911 because Miguel Algarin had come and trouble had just begun. Miguel believed in always throwing the first punch. In his living room, the beatniks snapped instead of clapped to avoid the eviction notice. If the landlord had a hunch, it would be slapped on the door. But his guests, they begged for more. And so the New Yorican Poets Cafe was born. And here we are, nearly 50 years later, in living rooms across the equator. He was our sinner and our savior. No one else will ever have his flavor. He died on World AIDS Day. He had HIV since the 80s, they say, but he outlived the virus for infinity and a day. And this night we celebrate his life in every way because he didn't cry tears for anyone and he'd want it this way. I wish I was as strong. He had the puffiest eyes I had ever seen in my entire life. Like to the end, they were like puffy. And I swear it's because he never shed a tear. I was like, he's holding all those tears. He don't shed a tear for nobody. So they were just all just trapped. They were just all trapped. Um, he would sit at the end of the bar where I would sit now when I would host the open mics because he was put into the hospital over a year ago. And I started taking that seat, always thinking about him. And I remember when I first came to the New Yorican Poets Cafe, it's the end of an era, yo. It's the end of an era. But I have such fond memories. He helped me develop into the poet that I am today. He was crass when he wanted to be, and he was loving when he wanted to be, and he took no shit. Can you imagine being gay, Puerto Rican back in those days? It's no wonder he was tough. But he gave us this. this is what we have, what we share here. So I'm very grateful for it. Um, I um I thank everybody for you guys being here. You know, you already know how it goes. Look him up. If you don't have his books, get his poetry, learn who he was, and there'll never be another Miguel, and there shouldn't ever be another Miguel ever. I got to roast him in his life. It was amazing. If you ever look on my page, on my La Bruja NYC page, and you scroll, it's one of the first videos I have in the video section. We celebrated his life, and I got to roast him, and he sat right there and took the roast, and he loved every minute of it. And I swear every story was true. And he loved it. He loved it. And I got to tell him that he would live forever. And he will. Through us, through you, through this platform, through every poem that is ever recited forevermore, connected to the New Yorican Poets Cafe. So, um, Advocate, take over a little bit. I lost the list. I did something. So just talk to the people. What do you have to say about Miguel?
Um, I was hosting the Monday night online open mic when we found out the list, and as I had told, I spoke to Bruja during the pre-show. It was like the worst time to receive that message and the best time because I got to hang out with everyone, got to do what Miguel set out to do. Now he may not have thought about this back in the mid 19, in the 70s or whatever, about Zoom, but this is what we do on here. What we do in person on here. That was his legacy, and he literally carved out a space. I think right now a lot of people take for granted how many open mics there are. I think a lot of people talk about like sometimes like, man, there are too many open mics. People don't even know what they're doing. But there was a time where it was like you either made it to Broadway in a big publishing house or you went nowhere, and the New Yorican did something where they filled the gap in between, and a lot of people got to grow from there and use the New York as a jumping point, to get on the Broadway. And we talk a lot about like the New York and how celebrities come by, like John Leguizamo, who's just Bruja's friend. That's just her buddy. She's gone to his house, had dinner with him and his family, not a big deal, right? But John Leguizamo came to the cafe because of Miguel. He was, we gave him an award. I got to perform. John Leguizamo came. It was like, oh my God, you're so great. But like, he didn't come because of the cafe. He came because of Miguel. And we talk a lot about Miguel's legacy with the cafe, but his legacy goes beyond that. He taught for 30 years at Rutgers University, taught for a Puerto Rican in, like Bruja said, in the 1980s, a gay Puerto Rican or bisexual, I don't know. Like he hit on everyone, all right? Miguel hit on everyone. But like here is this like gay Puerto Rican man who has HIV and he is in the universities and starting nonprofits. And I'm super proud. I'm super proud for the cafe to be called New Yorican because I am a New Yorican. But I'm also super proud that this ain't just a Latino thing. And Miguel knew that. And Miguel knew that too. He worked with the Black Arts Movement. He worked with so many different people. He wasn't, and that's what I loved. And when he was at the cafe, he was about having fun, and at the cafe, part of our culture is being obnoxiously loud, especially after someone performs, right? And that was Miguel. That's all Miguel right there. So
He was such a roaster too. That's why I had to roast him when I could. He was such a yeah, he was just, famous for saying, like, if you gave a whole, I wrote this poem when I was on the train. And he was like, read the fucking poem.
yes,
He didn't want to hear a whole intro. He's like,
he would have he would have loved Jeff Cottrell's poem intro. Like when you talk about triggering, Miguel was the same way. He was like, just get into it, get into it. He would have loved what Jeff wrote, and he would have also felt triggered. But that's who Miguel was. And like you said, he took it too. He took, and
Oh
he was
yeah,
a
he took it. He loved it. He loved every minute of it all, like all of it, the good, the bad, all of it, the ugly. He lived for it. He really did.
yep,
And you know, and even having HIV, he survived them all. That was the other thing. I was like, how this man has survived. Oh my goodness. But
yep. And I just
God.
want to mention one line, then we could get into it. Miguel, like we said, had HIV, and he's got one of these poems, and I'm paraphrasing his line, where he's talking about like being with someone else, and he says, how can my love juices hurt someone else? Like he was afraid of passing on the virus. And I heard that line maybe 20 years ago, and it just stuck with me. Like, oh my God, that feeling. But you know, Miguel lived. You know, we're sad to see him die, but don't get it twisted. Miguel lived. And
Yes.
sometimes he lived a little too much. There are
Oh
some
yeah.
cafe stories that I will never tell online.
Me
And
either.
if I become real cool with you, maybe in a dark alley where we're not being recorded, I'll tell you some of them. Because this gentleman who used to work the door, Julio, used to tell me them. And I can't repeat it because I don't want anyone to get incarcerated. But
That's why I'm
but
telling you, he
yeah,
was our sinner and our savior all
I
in one.
oh my God, I love when you said that line, our sinner and savior. Because,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of trouble at the cafe started by Miguel.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. He would
Loved
milk
it.
it and juice it. He juiced life to the fullest, and it was all in his puffy eyeballs. All the juice he sucked up. His puffy ass eyeballs. All right. Well, I love you guys. I love
We
your
love you, bro.
words. Thank
We're
you.
going to have a good night with you. Let's go.
All right. So first up, we have Nick Paleologos, followed by the comedy of Vernita Bostic. Let's get it in. Let's go.
Hello, La Bruja
Hi, Nick.
Advocate. How are you all doing today?
We're here. We are
We're
here.
here. Yeah, I feel a lot of the same emotions today. And on Monday too, I felt it. I was gonna do some new shit, but I think this piece is a more somber piece, and I performed it on Monday. I don't know how the hell I performed it on Monday, but I did. This one is called Snow Angel. Before I do it though, I'll sing a little song that goes along with it too as well. I hope it's worth it. What's left behind me, yeah. I know you'll find your own way when I'm not with you. So tell everybody, the ones who walk beside me, yeah. I know you'll find your own way when I'm not with you tonight. Never forget the 4th of March, and death has a way of finding everything around me and touch those that I love the most. That was the day I lost someone who made an impact on not only my life, but to everyone around. You made us laugh throughout my life. You made us cry on that day. You were like my dad, even though we weren't bound within the bloodlines. You gave us advice. You chuckled at our antics. You knew we were good kids. And I questioned myself that day. What could I have done differently? Could I have prevented this? And for years, I tried to drown out the memory. It didn't work. It became a memoir. It took me a while to finally learn the lesson that the pain we all felt that day would be the same pain if I would have done it. The funeral brought snow, and I believe you were trying to tell us something. It looked muffled in the messy mini blizzard it was. I got it though. I understood from when we left the church to your final resting spot the next town over. The only sight of beauty was the trees and their branches covered in snow. I lost my ability to enjoy winter. The snow reminded me of that day, and it took me a while to have closure. It will be 8 years this March. If only you could see me now. Come home, I pled. If only it were so simple. I had to say goodbye and not follow. That was my darkest winter, and that darkness still follows each cold season. The only candle of hope that shines on dark nights is that I knew that you found penance. In peace.
Nick, thank you.
Thank you for having me, La Bruja. Miguel will live on.
Oh,
You know, you can find me on social media at The Real Nick P. We also have me and many others. We're working on a book, Love Letters to Gaia. I'll drop that info in the chat. Everyone stay strong, stay safe. Love you all.
Mhm. And he can see you now, just so you know. The spirit world is just right there, and they can see it all, they hear it all. Now it's like faster than any cell phone, any type of connection. All you need is the intent, the thought, the word, and they're there, they hear it, and they know. So, all right. Now, let's see. Vernita Bostic brings some comedy to this somber stuff right now. Like it's this challenging enough for you, Vernita?
Yeah, I was like, oh, this would be the night that I'm number 2. Okay.
Vernita! I love you, girl. Go ahead.
Advocate.
Rock out. Let's have fun in Miguel's name. Go ahead, Vernita.
Absolutely. So, hello, everybody, trying to have some fun. Although, since we are talking about grief, ironically, this is what I plan to talk about. A lot of the regulars know that about a year and a half ago, I lost my boyfriend. And the hardest part for me about grief is when people tell you things that they think are going to make you feel better, but it's like completely the opposite. Like, I remember when I returned to work, my coworker had pulled me aside and she was like, I heard what happened. And just know that your life isn't over. And just remember that you is sweet, you is beautiful, and you is strong. And I didn't know what else to say to her except, bitch, ain't the line from the help? Like, you was smart, you was kind, you was impotent. I don't know if I was more mad at the fact that she just made me feel 10 times worse, or at the fact that she taught English at my school and she hasn't figured out how to use her helping verbs. I don't know. Like, it was a tie. I wasn't sure, but I was annoyed. I'm like, my 5-year-old nephew knows how to do this. Like, how did you get this job? You should be fired. Okay. But the hard part about losing him is that he was my soulmate. And ever since I was in my 20s, I always defined a soulmate as someone that made me smile every time I thought about them. Somebody that made me help me complete and finish my sentences. Someone that knew my innermost thoughts and feelings. And he was all of that for me. And I don't feel like I'm ever going to find another soulmate. But I think I will have a good chance of finding somebody. I think I'll be lucky enough because my definition of a soulmate now has completely changed. And my new definition has basically become the nigga that gets on my nerves the least. Okay, like, you don't even have to be nice. Just don't be annoying. You know what I mean? Like, I hate to admit that's where I'm at this point in time in my life, but that's where I'm at. Like, I'm in my 40s now. I don't think I have enough energy to find a quality man. Like, it's short. I don't have enough time, and it's too much work. You know, it's just too much. But if I do, or whenever I do get ready to date again, I know that I have to find somebody that is my age, because when I was 35, I dated a dude that was 8 years younger than me. And you know, when you're an older woman and you date a younger man, you know, they call you a cougar. The problem was I didn't feel like a cougar. I felt like a pedophile. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference, you know? And I don't like dealing with younger dudes because they're too tech savvy. They're always on their phones. They're always playing video games. Like, they don't know what to do with their hands when they meet humans, you know? Like, I remember the first night we were being physical. And he was really polite. And he was like, Miss, can I touch you down there? And I was like, Miss, I'm not that old. I was like, Mrs. Your mama. And yes, you can. But the problem was, as I was getting ready, I started to touch, he could touch me like a grown ass man that caresses me. No, this dude started swiping and scrolling like my vagina on my vagina, like he was on Tinder. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, and that's what my vagina was. It was Tinder. So I couldn't deal with the young dude anymore. I had to let him go. I couldn't. But later on that same year, I decided, all right, I'll deal with somebody older. So I dealt with a 50-year-old dude, right? Here's the problem with older dudes. When you deal with older dudes, a 50-year-old dude speaks to you differently than how 30-year-olds speak. Like they speak from a different time and point in history. And you know, when you're in a relationship, you like to have nicknames for each other. You know, I'm gonna tell you right now that a 50-year-old is not gonna call you bae, but he will call you Buttercup, okay? And some other old ass names. You know what I'm saying? Now, the older guy was a little different because it took me some time to feel comfortable enough to be physical with him. But finally, when I got there, I did like most of us do nowadays. I didn't tell him with words. I sent him emojis. So when I was ready, I sent him a whole bunch of eggplants thinking that he would know what I was talking about. You know that this dude texted me back and he said, no, thank you, sugar lump. I'm not hungry. I just ate. You can cook the eggplant tomorrow. I had to call him. I'm like, Bernard, what are you talking about? Like, this is not a dinner invitation. You know, but that's my time. Thank you guys.
Vernita. Oh man. You know, there's pansexual, then there's Peter pansexual. You know what I'm saying? Um, but that's when you date them and then they don't grow up. That's, you know, so you got to be out like Tinkerbell on these mofos.
Exactly.
I knew it was gonna be sugar something. I thought it was sugar foot, but you said sugar lump. I knew it was gonna be sugar.
I got both of them, sugar lump, sugar foot. It just depends.
I knew it. Thank you, sweetheart. Vernita Bostic, everybody. Oh my God. And this is for everyone in their twin flame and Miguel and everybody. I also wanted to acknowledge, I also am acknowledging the passing of my sorority sister, Lori A. Rodriguez Seeley. She was my dean when I pledged Omega Phi Beta sorority in spring of '92, and I was a chartering member of the Delta chapter in Binghamton University. And if it wasn't for Lori, she was our dean. You know, there was no way I could become a sister without her. And her wake is happening right now in Staten Island. And I just wanted to acknowledge my most radiant sister, Lori. Also, I'm wearing my grandmother's earrings. When she passed away, these are the earrings my grandmother was literally wearing in the casket. And I took these shits off of my grandmother and I'm wearing them down because I'm a morbid bitch. All right. Now let's see what Queen Ray Jane is going to bring to the morbidity table.
Hey.
Hey.
Ooh. Ooh.
Breathe, honey. You all right? Talk to me. Talk to me. Your silence is making me want to cry.
Okay. I am here for love. This is so appropriate. We lost my cousin. She was 30 years old. On Sunday. The funeral's tomorrow. I am on the front line. I cannot go. And I wrote something for her. And this is for her. It's called Shemekah. Aunt Tiny called you dearest, a little younger than us big cousins, but older than the smaller ones. You were right in the middle, right where you belonged, close to all of us. You would follow me around when we were small people. Even way back then, you were delightful and charming, wanting to sing like your big cousin, but I could never hold a candle to you. Mecca, my love, you were always special, bursting with talent and tenacity. No diagnosis or rule could hold you. I didn't really understand lupus, but I knew it was too small a word to ever describe you. I had no idea how it ravaged your small body, repeatedly adding to your family a bevy of clinical people to tap east and west in search of whatever combination was best to ease you. So brave and beautiful, I wonder if you knew how much I admired you, how you pushed, how you refused to be confined, how you spoke your mind like so many people left holding regret. I wish I had more time with you. I wish I called you more. I wish I were a better big cousin. I find some solace though, but only 'cause I know you up there making trouble with Bo. Damn, I can't believe we lost you both, but new stars in the sky, y'all will continue to glow. Bo will keep you close and Aunt Tiny will show you the ropes. The rest of us will have to make do. Our marvelous flower forever blossoming though, no longer in our field of view. Shemekah, we will walk with courage for you. We will remove excuses not to live bold and free. We will remember how it used to be, how your laugh sounded, how you hugged like you knew you gave the best hugs. You must have learned that from Aunt Tut. I will remember. I will embrace longer because of you. I promise to sprinkle some Mecca in everything I do. In that way, I will always be reminded of your grace. I'll close my eyes and smile, thinking of your face. Those big old cheeks rising and readily giving and giving, even when your body was unsteady. It was never big enough for you anyway, love. And now you are an ancestor, no further bound or sequestered by fleeting favor or flesh. No more separated by state lines. Yes, I get to love you with unending access, love you in excess. With your spirit surrounding us, we know we remain blessed. Weeping too for the loss of you, but proud to be a witness to the God already living in you. Thank you for showing us what it meant to be fearless. You could care less what anybody thought. You fought and never lost, just transferred. Hallelujah, you've emerged. Encouraged by you, but I still cry for you till I'm tearless. I thank you for being more than any of us deserved, for showing us how to have attitude. We give you our gratitude. We owe you nothing less. Above all else, we thank you for letting yourself be forever our dearest. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray J. My condolences, Queen. Love you so much.
Tell your people that you love them. If you can be with them, be with them. Thank you for the space.
We love you, Ray.
I love you too.
All right. Let's welcome up to the microphone now, Say He Joe.
Hello, good evening. My name is Sehi Joe. This is my first public appearance. It's my debut. I'm very excited to be here.
Time out. Ever in your entire life?
Public, yes. The first time.
So, do you know how we initiate first-time poets? Or,
No, I don't.
well, if you're okay with it, I will sing you the Pop the Cherry song if you're
Ah,
down.
okay. Yeah, I think I know this. Yeah. Okay.
Well, here we go. We gonna pop the cherry, baby. Pop the cherry, baby. Pop the cherry, baby. Pop, pop the cherry, baby. Pop, pop, pop the cherry, baby. Pop, pop the cherry, baby. Pop. Ladies and gentlemen, for the very first time ever, say he Joe.
Oh, thank you. I'm so honored. Thank you so much. So my poetry is very morbid, and I write a lot about death and loss as well. So it's perfect for today. I'm so sorry for everyone's losses. I have two poems I'd like to share. The first one is called Thomas, and it's dedicated to my father who passed away in 2011. He raised his knife and carved his wood, engraving his soul, the memories he left behind. He crossed the oceans of hidden tears and sorrow and climbed the mountains with his bow and arrow. He stood tall on the edges of a tree branch and gracefully reeled his golden fishing rod. He smiled at the cliff, winked at the tidal waves, and laughed at the reaper. He bled and bled with no attitude, but it isn't over yet, he says, for he shall eternally protect what gave him strength. The twilight purple skies, the warm pine lawn winds, the rosebuds spinning in my heart, send whispers of his love. He rises from the ashes to answer my prayers and save me from the dark. All right. My second poem is called, thank you, it's called I Am New York. Don't look at me. I am an island. My body is adorned with violent battle scars and eternal engravings. My poison masquerade hides the shadows, the darkness, the pain. Set me free. Let me look through a broken mirror and see myself whole. Don't talk to me. I am Gotham. At the crack of dawn, I rise to battle my demons and escape my wounds. A mother in hiding, a father in heaven, a murdered child. I am exhausted from this never-ending hustle, the grind, the strain, the pain. Set me free. Let me rest at a Jackson Hole with coffee and poetry. Don't touch me. I am New York. There are roses in my blood, and I burn too bright. My mother told me, my body is a temple I must protect. The shattered pieces of me bound together with grit, a single silver thread, and the broken wing of a bloodstained butterfly. The horror, the beauty, the pain. Set me free. Let me stand on top of a stormy skyscraper and flaunt my wings, my tattoos, my story, my pain. Thank you for listening.
Ooh, a poet has been born tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Say he Joe. Say he Joe. Let me know and let everybody know how we can follow you and support you now that you are part of the poetic community.
Thank you. You can find me on Instagram. It's sjo.butterfly, and I put my Venmo in the chat.
Thank you. All right. SJO Butterfly. Thank you. Blessings to your father spirit as well. Okay, so now let's go to, I think it's Michael Sindler, isn't it?
Yes, hello everybody. Anybody who was around Monday knows that we got the news right in the middle of the open mic, and then immediately after, and now Michael Sindler. So I just want to say, Joe, that was a much better thing to come into afterwards. So yeah, thanks. I'm going to start with a little haiku that's for one of the great pieces of commercial art ever. And this is tribute to its very last one, 12/31/95 for BW. Let's go exploring, cried the boy to the tiger, sailing into white. And I'm assuming most people will know what that refers to. And this actually, as a poet, is a reminder of another hard day for me. This is April 5th, 1997. I was a line cook then, heard about it right before my shift, walked into the kitchen and wrote 86 Allen Ginsberg on the slate. One of the other cooks, who was also a poet, had to leave the line and go cry in the washroom for a few minutes. I may have cooked food that was savory for the diners' palates, but there was only a bitter taste in my mouth that eve. And another little shorty. This is called Survivors. We're all survivors till we're not, hanging on by a slender thread. We find in time that we're caught. We're all survivors till we're not. Unanswered prayers on wings of thought, like dying flies stuck to a web. We're all survivors till we're not, hanging on by a slender thread. And then I'm going to fit in one last haiku. We're all coyotes in thin air beyond the cliff. Try not to look down. And so everybody knows, I don't do the social media thing, so I will just leave with this.
Rest in power. Thank you for that, Michael Sindler. We're all survivors till we're not. That is so powerful. Thank you so much. A line cook, eh?
Many years, many, many years.
Like my eggs over easy.
Now, 30 years in commercial kitchens.
Thank you. Thank you for feeding our poetic souls tonight. Michael Sindler. Let them know how to follow you if you'd like, or right, rest in power is what we're saying here. All right, Michael Sindler, bringing the beauty. Thank you so much. Okay, let's keep it going, keep it flowing, and invite up to the microphone no one other than Tesosomo.
Good evening.
Hello.
So, to the New Yorican, les damos el pésame.
Gracias.
The piece tonight I have is titled Rex Pauperis, the King of the Port. Excuse me, just spare a quarter. Such were the words of a blind man, beggar hunched on his body. He wore the face of uncertainty. The brown pleated jacket he wore had faded to a shiny black, crusty material. He stuck one hand on the corner of the building and held himself up. He moved from left to right and back and forth, but at all times he maintained his hand upon the wall. He was a ship lost in a storm, and all that held him was the wall, his anchor to this world. His lips, heavily chapped, moved almost in a robotic way as he shouted his chant. Excuse me, can you spare a quarter? The silent, soft rains of the crowds came and went, yet his tiny ship, 5 feet 4 inches, swayed not to the storm's haphazardness. He clung with his anchor, never flinching for a second, yet always chanting his verse like a Buddhist priest in Zendo. He wore a fixed concentration only exhibited by drunk men and old chess players. He always looked straight ahead, only moving his head to hear the echoes or distinguish the walk of rich gentlemen or the passion-filled perfumes of gallant ladies. Yes, he knew the walk of 3-year-olds, the walk of fine young ladies who floated gaily as young doe. He could hear them coming almost a block away from every direction. Often enough, he would have no problem distinguishing 2 or 3 different people walking on, but at times they would confuse him. They walk off beat and created a mirage of footsteps. It always came to him in a very surprising way. It reminded him of the war stories his friend Moses used to tell him. And the captain ordered us across the bridge, telling us to walk off beat. Many men scattered in fear of being shell-shocked as we skewed across the bridge, yet the beggar would release his thoughtful poise and be back to his chant. Excuse me, could you spare a quarter? Occasionally, he would stop and lean his back against the wall, seeming almost afraid of having a lapse of reason. He dropped both his hands and pulled his pants all the way up to his diaphragm. He unbuckled his belt and adjusted it to the day's exhaustion, slowly putting his hand back on the wall, almost like a tightrope walker moving his hand for balance. The old man reached for the wall and then clung to it tightly. His fingers splayed out like frog's toes as he ran it across the cracked concrete. The tactile emotion of cold, dried cement was familiar feeling to him, much as the early morning sunrises are to us. The mid-afternoon heat slid off his oily jacket like water off a duck's back as the shadows crawled into the crevices of the streets and the buildings. His echoes ricocheted, disappearing like the light of day.
Thank you. This is so always people even know it. They said the bell has rung because Tessa Somok always takes us to class. Thank you for your profound.
Thank you. I'll post my info on the chat, and we're here together.
Yes, I'm so grateful for that and grateful for you. Your poetry is so powerful that Advocate of Words heard it in reverb. I don't know what happened, but
it sounded like there was a reverb effect, but I guess I was the only one to hear it. So I love you, Tessa Somo. Love you, storytelling.
Yeah.
Shout out to Vernita Buttercup Bostic. Okay, I'm off.
He's gonna be sending you those eggplant emojis, buddy.
Oh. And he don't cook, so you know what that means. You gotta bring it. All right. Okay. Now, I'm so lost. I'm trying to think now. Okay, we're gonna go now with Dane. Let's talk to Dane right now.
Okay.
Hey, how you doing?
I
You have a nickname. What, Advocate? What's his nickname?
We haven't given him a nickname, but I've recognized him as being a tormented artist. But I will put him on blast. And apparently Dane has a new girlfriend, and she's very attractive, and they look very happy together.
Oh.
yes, she's so it should be good. I changed up everything I was going to do tonight, and I had some really stuff packed full of sex, but I think maybe that's another time.
Hey man.
No. Miguel Agarin loves sex. Do it, Dane.
He loved him some sex.
A little too much. Again, more stories we can't say on camera. Do it, Dane.
Yeah, okay. So I just want to sit with people now and share some of these things. Every day of the year, someone dies. Every single time it's horrible. The ones left here are fill in the blank. The time is always perfect, no matter what you think about it. Last time for everything comes. Dumb and numbly, I stand there. She'll never smile and laugh with me again. I know, I'm not alone, but this island is so far away from everything but my grief, bound together with all, humbled, little speck of sand. Glass comes from all the heat. Stick. All the things that could not happen. Leaves all the room for every dream not yet imagined. Love is in every stick and stem, seeming broken, dead, lying there, poking down. licorice candy. The last bag of licorice candy sits here, waiting, 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 waiting for your return. Unopened, black, black, black. I howl, you are never coming back. Tears boiling down stain my face. I howl the howl of every man that lost their woman, cast upon the sea of anguish. This boat of skin and bones is tossed till wretched and the ill soul vomits. Who likes licorice, Stark? You do. You do, you do, and now you are gone. I howl like a poet all alone. I am sorry, sorry, sorry. Every word is vile and base and feels so inept that only a scream and howl is more than empty, empty, empty. Take this candy with you when you go. If you will never come back, do not look around. You will only see a pitiful me howling, 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 trapped in the pandemonium of this modern plague, a pandemic. Strangers meet. Here, have some licorice. It's dark and sweet, something I'll never eat. I'm so sorry for your loss. We keep our distance as we meet. The morning prayer facing east. The earth is a candle. The candle is burning. Who is brought low? Who is left to sit for 7 days to honor, to commemorate, to remember, to memorialize our beloved? Who says Kaddish for Ruth, for America, for Earth? I beg for forgiveness for the appropriation, for your deafness, for your hate, for your fear. I beg forgiveness for whatever I have done that brings me and us here. And lo, I sit here for 7 days praying for a better way to go. The Torah tells us all Jews are one. A Jew may recite the Kaddish for another if and when needed. The Buddha tells us we are all one. So I am a Jew. I'm a Muslim. I'm a man of faith, a man of no faith at all. When we are high and easy, we are blind to how low and hard we have become. Our thoughts are all sleeping. This is where I am now on my knees, weeping. Abraham Lincoln said, I have been driven many times upon my knees by the overwhelming conviction that I had nowhere else to go. My wisdom and that of all about me seemed insufficient for that day. This is where we are now. The earth is a candle. The candle is burning. Who is brought low? If this is not the if and when needed, then when will it ever be the time for the recitation, for the Kaddish, for Ruth, for America, for Earth, for Miguel? It is time now to plant trees in America, in Israel, and on Earth, and for Miguel. Thank you.
Thank you, Dane. You represented. They say the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago and today, or something like that. Yes, man. Thank you so much. Let everybody know if you want them to follow you, how to follow you. And then we're gonna go with Midnight, aka Philip Curtis. All right. Okay, I guess Dane don't want you to follow him.
He's Dane Ince on Facebook. Just his name, Dane Ince. And then you can find his girlfriend, who I think people are telling me he's engaged to. Go find out all his business.
Already,
Follow him.
bam. He ain't wasting no time. He's like, people die every day. Let's get married, woman. Shit.
Ooh, wow.
Phil, aka Midnight.
What's going on, my Bruja? How you doing?
Boo, boo to that shirt.
Oh man, look.
Hey, man. You can't say boo to no New York City teams.
Exactly.
I'm from the Bronx. Bruja, we from the Bronx. Come on now.
I know, but you know, truth be told, my grandfather, his favorite team was the Mets. My first baseball game was a Mets game because my grandfather was a Mets fan when I was a little kid, and I was feeling it.
I'm so sorry, Bruja. I'm gonna pray for you in your childhood. I had no idea. I am so
And then at that
sorry.
time, like it was what, Keith Hernandez? He was
Number
fine.
17.
He was fine.
Mhm.
So speaking of fine, take it away, Phil.
All right, let's do this. Three haikus and a poem. Holiday season and COVID economy. Not spend next year's funds. COVID season means life without genuine hugs. We send emojis. Almost 52. No one knows how much time left. Life becomes a death. It was an unfamiliar sound that I heard, probably never recognizing any of her words. So I wished for some time I could recall to mind my mother's voice. See, parts of me has always been missing. Shoot, I'd embrace recalling her giving me my worst beating, because recollections are limited to what older ones have told me, basically recalling their own story. So I created my own. Imagine her and I roaming through the boys section, mommy picking out my clothes selection, passing through the toy section, amazed by the different characters. Mets, Star Wars, and Batman. Yeah, I like those. Mommy, please buy me that baseball hat. So today I have a second bedroom on display. And behind each of my closet doors are shirts I wear no more than 3 times a year. They're mostly all that my mother bought me. The toys, those are what I begged her for. So my second bedroom brings me peace and tranquility, sleep, sweet possibilities. And it even has a bed made for a growing child. My mother birthed me, died before I was age 1. I have no nickname. From haiku to poem, we created memories. My created memories in my second bedroom.
Midnight. That was profound.
Thank you.
Thank you. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. Let them know how to follow you.
I got it. I'll put it in the chat.
Say it out loud though, because we got audiences in Facebook and YouTube.
Oh, my bad. Midnight Poet 00 on Twitter, IG, SoundCloud, at Cash App, Venmo, and midnightpoet00.com.
Put the Batman hat back on. Take that hat off. Put the Batman hat on.
Yeah, I got a Batman Mets hat, so you screwed.
You can't win afterwards. The hat game is serious, bro. Yeah, follow us on Facebook and New Eureka Poets Cafe and on YouTube. And, all of these episodes can be watched on YouTube if you just go to the New Eureka Poets Cafe page. So all of you are immortalized in these open mics that we have been sharing since the pandemic. So, okay, now let's keep it going. And we have next Thomas Connor.
Yes. Peace and blessings to all. My condolences to anyone that has lost a loved one this year. I lost my mother very early this year. She battled courageously against non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And my father had passed 8 months before she did. So, this poem that I'm going to read was conversations with my father about time. So I had performed this before, but I kind of had to tweak it a little bit because so many conversations I had with him about never wasting time. Always manage your time, not just for work or for a loved one, but just be respectful of time because we don't have much of it. So here I go. I once wrote about time, illustrating her nuances as irony. Failing to see her beauty, we truly overlook the significance of her duties. Watching as she balances life, her sands pouring grain by grain, marking us stain by stain, at times treating us with disdain because we choose to use her name in vain, like we ain't got time for that. You know what time it is. Shit, time is running out. But guess what? Time, she never runs. She drips and ticks. Every one of her moments clicking away in our daily ways. She teases us with the illusion that we have more of her than we think. I love the way she thinks, carving, dissecting past, present, and future. Forgettable moments I can't forget. Our intent to control her is a wasted event. An illusion, a fusion of myth and hope. This hope to make time for more time. For friends, family, lovers, experience, and moments like bus trips with mom to Graham Avenue and beyond. That's the beauty of her, fusing all three with her celestial sutures. However, there are parts of her I'd rather forget, like mistakes and regrets. That part of time I can't reset, so in short, I just accept. You see, her uncertainty worries me, buries me in those unforgettable moments, unavoidable, deplorable events like tragedy and death. Embracing her takes strength. Swallowing her oceans requires patience and faith. The irony and complexity is I find myself wanting to delve into her waves, submerge myself in her oceans, one fucking second at a time, hoping I could reverse her, but she's time. Shit, she already addressed that in the beginning. Excuse me, and I know I could drown in her grind, but the scent of her strength draws me, holds me, controls me. Untamable she is. Victory over her is unattainable. Her possibilities unnameable. Admiring the splendor of her, you can get lost in a blur. How she collaborates with life, joys and strife, imperfections. Her directions go more than just four. She splendidly paints her tapestry across our memory. Her gentle strokes of her brush paints complexity. And ridiculing us for our limitations as we try to manage her, banish her from our addendum. But that's hope and a million miles away. Time, she's everlastingly beautiful. Bright and luminous, her sunset never sets. She just dips below the horizon. As we peek, trying to hide from her, but from the minute we're born, she has us in her grip.
Thomas Connor. Powerful, powerful.
Thank you. Thank you.
How do we follow you?
I'm Thomas Connor on Facebook and TAC7371 on Instagram.
All right. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Great. And my condolences to you.
Thank you.
Your father and your mom.
Yeah, it was rough. I kind of knew 62 years of marriage. I knew once one of them went, my mother just gave up after my father. Dijo, ya no puedo más. Ya, mi rey se fue. Is her word. So
that's real love right there.
Yeah.
Well, they're watching.
Thank you again for the space.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel my ear being pulled sometimes. That's my mom. Mira, carajito, ¿qué tú estás haciendo?
That's right.
Thank you.
They're just right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas.
Yep.
Muchas bendiciones.
Para ti. Gracias. Bendiciones a usted también.
Gracias. Okay. Little fun fact is that right before I got the word that Miguel had passed away, my car alarm started going off. This never happens. It going off. I had to run, take the key, turn the alarm off, go back, and it went off again. Now I have had paranormal activity in my house. There's a ghost named Jack Valenti, and he would knock 3 times, and that was how he would communicate with me. But this wasn't knocking, this was honking, and I was like, what is going on? Even my daughter was like, this is spooky, because it happened like 6 times. It kept happening. I had to go to the car, sit in the car, turn the car on, turn it off, leave it unlocked, and go back inside for the alarm to start ringing. And then I got the word that Miguel had passed. And I believe that was Miguel. So stay open to the signs that are there for you, because they are just right there. That's really what gives me comfort is, is that. Well, let's go now and hear from the beautiful Hope Chamberlain. How are you? Welcome back.
Hi, I'm good. I'm glad to be back. And I'm sorry about all the shitty feelings we're all going through. So I have 3 short poems today. And I'll just start with the first one. The first one is called Legend Says. Legend says a witch haunts these woods. Her hut constructed of garbage, beer can walls, and cellophane windows. An ever-burning grease fire keeps the cabin aglow. Terrified wanderers find themselves stunned in her grasp, coughing and inhaling the wicked poisonous gas, heads on pikes, the human legacy she shows. They find it repulsive, her trash bungalow, a life so wretched that which she chose. So they warn the people en masse. Legend says a witch haunts these woods. Where the witch came from, only she knows. Her dedication to the forest is a powerful oath. Keep the wilderness wild with all of your mass. Warn the senseless of their own wrath. Legend says a witch haunts these woods. And then my next one is called Iris. And it's a haiku. Purple blue flower. My middle name is Iris. Named after the song. And then this last one is called Ode to Fungus. Bright red mushrooms dot the floors of forests as if dropped by fairies. Little umbrellaed towers become insect hotels. It's a shame the bellhops are invisible deadly spores.
Hope Chamberlain. I love it. Legend says, you already know. I love that. And those red cap mushrooms, those are the ones if you really want to see some shit. Those are the ones to eat. Yo, you be chilling with Smurfs. Thank you, Hope. Thank you so much. Put your information in the chat. We're going to keep it going. And welcome up, Cinda Lawrence. Oh, yep, you got the Winona Ryder. One more time. I said that to you last week. Forget it. Even the way you speak is so like Winona. It's so like girl interrupted. Well, let me not interrupt this girl. And let's welcome up Cinda. Hi.
Oh, hello, everyone. I'm so sorry for the loss of Miguel. The radio came on Monday, and I heard it, and I'm just so sorry, And over 100,000 Americans are in the hospital tonight, and hundreds of thousands all over the world, and so many have died. And I always think to myself that the only way that we come together as a world, as a people, that all of us come together is when we care as much for the loss of a stranger as we do for the loss of the people that we know. So the only thing that will get us through the next few months, which are going to be so much loss and pain, is this community and love and authenticity, honesty. It's just that will get us through. So these 2 poems are for the people we've lost and the people we might lose. The first one is the Song of Today. What if today were the end of existence? My thoughts and feelings, pure energy, along with persistence. What will be that moment that's truly my last? What will I curse, present, future, or past? What if I knew I could start over again? What would I change? My foes or my friends? What if that moment, the end of my being, is flipped on its side, the beginning of seeing? All stubborn views, the words that I've uttered, gone in a heartbeat, memories all shuttered. A few will recall me as long as they live, then float on with nothing to say or forgive. I rise with the sun and prepare for the day, forgetting to wonder, forgetting to play. I look at tomorrow as if it were fact. It's the load that I carry, the weight on my back. So many around me in pain are immersed. No hope for the future, just a fear for the worst. I think of the joyful, the grieving, the bored, long forgotten. They did not surrender, though their age too it was rotten. Here I now sit, a speck of dust in eternity, finding solace in space and a hope for fraternity. I'll wearily join them, those who faded away. How will they greet me? What will they say? They may offer this, if only I'd known to love every heart, that I'm never alone. Each day that we live, dreading that which we share, not death, but the troubles that aren't really there. The good and the evil, the shamed and the blessed, the impact of now, will they speak, muse, or guess? In 10,000 years, whether whisper or thought, I'll still revel in song, for I could have been not. And the other one is called Glow. Who shall we be if we reject the rules? Who will be wise and who will be fools? That moment in time that I do not recall, I was born as pure heart, believing nothing at all. Time works its magic. My path lies before me. I work and I wonder who fears or adores me. One by one, the days fly along on their journey. I know not which will save or will burn me. I follow the rules. I work at my job. I was taught to be pleasant. Don't be a slob. My body gets older. Sometimes my heart aches. I ponder my choices, my victories, mistakes. I could be a rebel and go for the crown, alter the meaning of predestined pronouns. I, you, we, or they, who will decide which path I take, who comes along for the ride? Money is king and appearance is all. We battle and question until that last call. What if today were but a moment in time? What if my spirit were to choose its own rhyme? To rise above lies, confusion, and mess, welcome the courage, bid farewell to duress. Suddenly it matters not who wins the game. No losses, no panic, no one to blame. What a wonder it is to discover a soul hiding inside while playing a role. It's been there all along, the truth I now see, the depth of our power to set ourselves free. Surrounded by voices all wanting control, we'll need to stay calm, stay centered, stay whole. There'll be bumps in the road, some days will be cold, but breathing is light. Let's remember to glow.
Cinda Lawrence, that rhyme flow. Where do you write your
Thank
poetry, Cinda? Where do you write when you write?
Where do I write? I'm in my apartment all the time, so I write here. But yeah, I mean, it's funny. Like, it's just that artistic thing, that comes to you, and then you're like, oh, that's it. And then you just start, and then the words come out of the keyboard, without even thinking almost. You know what I mean? It's just that thing, which makes me believe so much in the soul and so much more going on, because it comes out. It just comes out. I'm sure as artists, you all know that. And and sometimes I can't even remember.
It's important for you to say it, because there's people out there that are wondering how you do what you do, and how we.
Yeah, there's no magic bullet or anything. It's just letting it be, and boom. If you let it be, I think it comes. I think it comes when you just let it be. Don't push, don't force. Just let it be. So.
Thank you,
Paul
Cinda
McCartney.
Lawrence,
Yes.
Everybody, giving me
so much love, so many hugs.
I want to jump in real quick because I have a theory. I believe that there is one muse and we're all connected to the muse. And over time, the muse feeds you some energy and you need to do something with it because if you don't, the muse is going to give that to someone else. And I know this because there are stories and poems that I should have written and I thought about and I didn't. And several years later, I saw other people do their own versions. So I just wanted to put that out there. Not trying to be all like,
Yep.
ooh, spiritual, but that's how I feel.
Exactly
Okay.
what you
You're
mean.
not trying to
Yes,
be like,
yes.
you gotta be like, who are you talking to? Of course you gotta be spiritual and woo woo. He's like, I don't want to sound all woo woo.
Well, there are some people who are not very artsy fartsy like us, and
Everybody farts. So everybody arts. That's my theory, all right? If you farts, you're arts.
Yeah. I'm very fartsy. I know. Yeah.
Cinda, thank
Love you guys. Thank you.
Yes. Be fartsy, man. Be fartsy. Don't let me get into it. Don't let me get into it. Pinky's sitting right here. She already knows how artsy fartsy I get. All right, let's keep it going. Let's see what James Speaker Sears has to
Good
say.
evening. Good evening.
Speaker, hello.
Hello. Hello.
Black and
So,
white today,
yeah, it's that day. So 2020 has been filled with a lot of loss. It's just been a lot of loss. So my heart goes out. So many people have lost somebody. And so let me get to this. And a little known fact, some years back, I hosted several events at the New Eurekan Poet Cafe. So this is a shout out to a friend. Rest in poetry. Rest in poetry, my dear friend. May words travel with you as you ascend. You have blessed so many with your poetic blends. Now you lie silent as your earthly journey has come to a poetic end. May you find heavenly peace, free from any of earthly pains. I pray the angels see you and know you by your earthly name. May you find answers to questions and solutions to life's mysteries. May your ancestors find you, and may you find the truth to so much of our history. It was a treat to be mentored by you. It was a blessing to share words as poetically I grew. I pray you lived a life without any regrets. It is your love affair with people and words that I will never forget. You, the poetic icon, Nuyo founder, and a poet maker. You manipulated words and you were a stereotype breaker. I cherish the little time we shared here on earth at poetic venues. I thank God I came to the Nuyo for poetry. And do not worry, it will continue. Your legacy is secure and your legendary status is confirmed. Rest in poetry, Miguel, as truly your victory and rest have been earned. Thank you for everything, and thank God for sending you to be such a blessing. In peace.
made me teary, Mr. Speaker. Thank you so much for that. That was a beautiful tribute. Thank you. I'm so glad that you got to actually be in that space.
Yeah.
I chose this wall today in my house because this is how the walls inside the New Eurekan are. It's all brick. So I wanted to give you New Eurekan vibes. You want to let them know how to follow you?
Yeah, I'm going to some dangerous places. Don't follow me.
Mr. Speaker Sears, thank you so much. It's dangerous. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So apparently, Jeff Cottrell said that he agrees with Advocate of Words that, people, if you don't write it or you don't say it, somebody else will. And apparently he wrote certain jokes that Stephen Colbert said. So tonight, Jeff Cottrell is Jeff Colbert. Let's bring him on.
Yeah, there have been a couple of times where like I'll make a funny tweet about a current event, and then like I'll watch Colbert's monologue or something like on YouTube the night after, morning after. It's like I made that joke, sort of. Didn't word it as well, but and I don't think he reads my Twitter.
I don't know. He might be stalking you.
Oh, you never know. So I've got new shit.
Woo!
And it's called the Canadian Book Awards. Welcome, one and all, to the Canadian Book Awards for 2020. The Canadian Book Award serves to award the books that the Canadian literary establishment likes. We seek to promote Canadian values and Canadian themes to which all Canadians relate in a perfectly Canadian way, in Canada. Our first prize at the Canadian Book Awards this year goes to When Crying Bears Shudder in the Wind, which is a quiet, subtle coming-of-age story about the immigrant experience in the slums of Toronto. Our second prize at the Canadian Book Awards for 2020 goes to The August of Her Soul, which is a quiet, subtle coming-of-age story about the immigrant experience in the Westmount neighborhood of Montreal. Our third prize for 2020 at the Canadian Book Awards goes to The Raspberries Are in Season Again, Papa, a quiet, subtle coming-of-age story about the immigrant experience in rural Saskatchewan. Our fourth prize this year at the Canadian Book Awards is going to Verily Must the Watchman Leer at Sunset, a quiet, subtle coming-of-age story about the immigrant experience in the downtown East Side area of Vancouver. The Canadian Book Awards also has a category for poetry. Our first prize for poetry at the 2020 Canadian Book Awards goes to With Vulnerable Roses Do I Sweep the Curtained Walls, a collection of quiet, subtle coming-of-age poems about the immigrant experience in St. Thomas, Ontario. And seeing that we have some extra time, let us go over the list of books that are not getting any recognition from the Canadian Book Awards. We are not giving a prize to that popular book about the space aliens and the serial killer who terrorize an affluent suburb, nor are we giving any awards to that fascinating experimental short story collection that breaks new ground in structure and language. The Canadian Book Awards is also not giving a prize to that really funny book that viciously satirizes timeless, universal human foibles, nor to that scathing character study that takes bold artistic risks, nor to that passionate historical romance with the vivid war scenes, nor to that sprawling epic about the eccentric family that changed the world, nor to that moving, tear-jerking story about the boy and the dog and the mysterious stranger. And we are definitely not giving a prize to that quiet, subtle coming-of-age story about the immigrant experience in the suburbs of Halifax, but which is also very entertaining. Good God, no. That completes the list of all the books that were published in Canada this year. To close this year's ceremony, we present our annual series of Lifetime Achievement Awards. Our first 2020 Lifetime Achievement Award goes to Margaret Atwood. Our second 2020 Lifetime Achievement Award also goes to Margaret Atwood. Our third 2020 Lifetime Achievement Award is a tie, a four-way tie between Michael Ondaatje, Shane Koizan, Paul Vermeersch, and Margaret Atwood. Our fourth 2020 Lifetime Achievement Award goes to The Rotting Corpse of Leonard Cohen, which we have dug up just for the honor. To commemorate this award, we are delighted to treat you to a special musical performance, an exclusive 4-hour and 23-minute version of Mr. Cohen's Hallelujah, performed on the ukulele by Margaret Atwood. Thank you for attending the 2020 Canadian Book Awards. Every one of our attendees will receive a generous gift bag of craft dinner, hockey pucks, and winter depression. Go Leafs! Thank you. That was the Canadian Book Awards.
Woo! All right. And the Galactic Book Award goes to The Alien Serial Killer Coming of Age Immigrant Experience.
I'd read it.
I know, right? I'd read it too. But it's an alien, so you'd have to learn alien.
I guess, yeah. I don't know enough Klingon anyway.
Klingon?
I don't know enough Klingon yet.
JeffCottrell.com, ladies and gentlemen. Follow Jeff Cottrell, aka Jeff Colbert, tonight.
And I have a feature coming up on the 13th of December. It's a series called Runcible Spoon, and I'm on with 3 British poets. It's Sunday, December 13, 1 o'clock p.m., and there's an open mic as well, and I will put the info in the chat about that.
Woo! Represent, represent. Let them Brits know what's good. Thanks, Jeff.
Cheers.
Peace. All right. So this gentleman coming up, I got to pop his cherry last week. It was great. So let's bring him back. Generalissimo Brian Franco.
Shalom, everyone. I get to start every time for Ms. La Bruja with a haiku called, this one is called Proof That Angels Exist on Earth. I know poetry has saved my life more than once, and it will again. I'm going to do 2 more poems, and I'm going to pull it up for you. Here we go. This one I'm going to dedicate to everybody who has decided to read at the New Eurekan ever. It's called A Most Honorable Warrior's Death. So many people I know have said poetry has saved their lives. The same story is told in a million different voices around the world. Poets are warriors. Poets are fighters. Poets are Olympic pugilists. Our enemies, our nemesis, our sparring partners are simultaneously our mirrors and our pasts. Our present tense existences are fleeting moments in which we contemplate our lives, our decisions, our relationships, our families. Our words run through our veins to our hearts and through our nerves to our brains. We spit them out as poetry, exposing them to the elements, sending them to a glorious death memorialized on page to be read both out loud and in silence, not only by us, but also others who have experienced pieces of our lives in their separate lives. Our epitaphs become their epitaphs. Our poetry is a graveyard that transforms death into life. The next is called Why I Am Certifiably Defective. Some people have accused me of being a communist when it comes to cheese. I am anti-American cheese. I 100% believe that McDonald's can afford to offer cheddar or provolone on all cheeseburgers and ditch the over-processed crapiolas without raising prices. Also, when it comes to Cheese Whiz, while I am okay with the delivery method, I am wary of any cheese that does not have to be refrigerated and legally has to be spelled with a Z. I will admit, though, there is something to be said for a good old-fashioned grilled American cheese sando on fortified bleached wheat preservative-laden white bread with a bowl of condensed Campbell's tomato soup, lacking any chunky pieces of tomato or basil or oregano. A summer camp nostalgia meal that makes me a giddy foodie. I could write an extremely long dissertation on the issue of the horribility of condensed soup that might possibly win me a Pulitzer after a bidding war for media rights between the New York Times, Washington Post, and Bon Appetit. But unfortunately, the only PhD offered in ranting and raving from Notre Dame University requires all students in the program to subsist on communion wafers as their sole carb source for its duration. That rule offends me as a Jew, and they won't let me substitute matzah for wafers, which is their right as a religious educational institution. After being denied this incredible learning opportunity, I tried to defect to Russia, was denied entry, but received a lovely handwritten consolation letter from Vladimir Putin himself. My dearest Mr. Franco, while we appreciate your position on fast food cheeseburgers, your very public opinions on old-fashioned grilled American cheese sandwiches disqualifies you for citizenship to Mother Russia. With sincerity and sadness as a fan of your most clever poetry, because dictatorial despots can be poetry lovers too, the future modern-day Tsar of the all-supreme Russian Empire, the Vladimir Putin. P.S. Is the Vladimir thing a bit too much? I think it makes me sound hipper with the young folk. BTW, if you had been accepted for defection, you would have been the first American-born Jewish poet laureate in Russian history. Do svidaniya. Less than a week later, I received a letter kicking me out of the Communist Party of the United States of America. Thank you, everyone.
Woo! Generalissimo Brian Franco. Wow, that was powerful. I love that. Russians are tough, man. Russians are really tough. I have jokes about it. I have some jokes about how tough Russians are.
You're gonna get canceled. You're gonna get canceled, Bruja. Is that what's happening right now?
Russians are so tough. Instead of suspenders, they walk on their hands. You Americans are weak. Instead of brushed teeth, they chew glass. You Americans are weak. Instead of LASIK surgery, they stare at sun. You Americans are weak. Instead of sock, they put foot in cat. Because you Americans are weak. You made me hungry again, though, I must say, Generalissimo, with the cheese. I know, and even Cinda agrees. A bad chunk of cheese is just a crime against humanity. Well, I forgot to announce that I released a video. I did my own WAP video, and it's on YouTube, and I'd really appreciate if you would go and look at it and subscribe to my page on YouTube, Caridad de la Luz. And I love acronyms. Acronyms are my thing. When I was on Def Poetry Jam, I did WTC. I have a song called SPIC on Spotify on my For Which It Stands album. And when Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion came out with WAP, I had my own ideas about it, I was conflicted a bit, so I had to just do my thing. I was accused of not being full satire. Somebody wrote it wasn't, I should have gone full satire. I think I did it justice. When I was in Los Cabos, I filmed the whole thing myself. I just put the camera and would wake up super early for the sunrise and sunset, swam with a dolphin, did the whole thing and edited it myself. And I'm proud of it. And Advocate Awards, he was happy because I was showing my butt cheeks, and so yeah.
Wait, is that what I said?
You did say that. He was happy.
No, I was like, oh yeah, you're showing your tush. I think I saw your tush right there.
I can read between the lines, man. I'm a poet, okay? But you'll love my butt cheeks too. But what I really want you to check out is the acronym poetry, really. And check out my editing skills, because during this pandemic, I've had to learn to just do it all. And if you really like it, go to and send me some money to my Venmo, or follow me at least, or subscribe to my YouTube, Caridad de la Luz, or follow me at La Bruja NYC, and my Venmo is the same, La Bruja NYC. And I appreciate it, and I'm bringing this up because our next poet actually has donated to me for like absolutely no reason, not when I made a video or not anything, and I love him for that. So supportive, even bought my New York shirt, and thank you so much. I appreciate you to the fullest. And you write sexy poems about me. It's like the best.
Yo, I thought you was gonna say this next poet probably enjoys my butt cheeks, and I was like yo, they setting me up. The timing.
You'll let me know in your next poem.
I got you. But yeah, much love to all of y'all. Blessings to all of you who, are dealing with a lot right now. Thank you so much for this space and the love. It definitely is. I wish I could have been to the New York. Sad I grew up 10 minutes away, and I know I have kids probably looking at me like, you grew up in Manhattan and didn't come to the New York. But thank y'all for hosting this on Zoom. And so I want to do the first piece I did for the Zoom open mic, which has to do with New York. So your New York heads hopefully enjoy this. But it's called NY Niggas After They Hit Be Like,
Yo, that shit was fire. Make me want to hit up my guy and tell him how crazy that shit was, bro. She dead ass had me crying. I was trying to see how deep I could go, and I had to tell myself, yo, you gotta slow down, B. You're gonna nut dumb quick. How I come home from outside and it being dumb brick to being inside something so damn warm. She wrote it so crazy, I don't know anymore. If I like her, if I love her. Yo, I'm mad torn. I don't even need to rely on porn. There really ain't no girl like her, and that's my word. Instead of coming and saying, oh, I was like, yeah. At first, she was fronting, bro, and I was wild tight. Like, yo, you bugging not having a nigga like me in your life. Am I ODing to say I want to make you my wife? Because you got a nigga feeling nice. Like when you cop the Henny with the Coke and all feels so right. Baby, I do this. All that other shit is light. But I promise when I see you, it's really on sight. You really would have thought I was playing. I know my chances are slim, even though I'm acting kind of shady. It's just because a woman like you makes a dude like me nervous. Because I heard them uptown women do brujeria, you know, curses. So I'm trying to approach with caution. Trust me, I don't think you're sus. You're more kind of awesome. You would really be wilding if you went with another guy. So stop playing, ma. And get you a nigga from NY. Thank you.
Woo! I co-sign. Thank you. The Withdrawn.
Thank you.
You heard the man. Let him know where to follow you.
Thank you. I can follow me at The Withdrawn on Instagram and thewithdrawn.com. Also submit to Love Letters to Gaia. Got 10 more days for the submissions close. And thank you to all of y'all who submitted. If y'all thinking about submitting, please do. We're eager to see your work. Much love.
All right. Thank you, The Withdrawn.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, Thomas says that the next poem he's going to recite is about his mother, who was a curandera. Basically, that's a bruja, a good bruja, a healer. So I'm looking forward to hearing that poem. Lila, you're asking where's the rest of the list? That's the rest of the list. I think DG Clearing left, so I put Paul La Torre as the 25th. So I think that's pretty clear. And yeah, now let's hear from Catman Bill.
Good evening, Bruja. So I changed a few things around in terms of the song I wanted to do. But before I get into that, I don't know if others have heard, but the FCC just had a new ruling today banning therapy pets other than dogs, because people were taking their rabbits and their cats and now they can only take a little puppy dog on board. And, you know, I happen to have a rooster as my therapy pet, and I can no longer take my cock on board. So I'm very disappointed and depressed over that. And but I'll get over it somehow. So didn't see too many smiles out there. Okay, so well, perhaps keeping a little bit with the loss of your founder. In 2016, I saw the memorial for Muhammad Ali on television, and he was always a fixture of a hero of sorts in my life. And later that night, I woke up in tears and wrote this song, and to share it with you now. It's called "He Came from Dust." He came from dust, he came from clay, he never lived a cautious day. He was a poet with a rhyming mind, he was the greatest of all lives on in some of us. Ali, Ali, more American than apple pie, more peaceful than a butterfly. He knew when the time was right to lose his pay and end the fights. Ali, Ali, he lives on in some of us. Thank you.
Woo! Catman Bill Katz. Thank you. Ali was a poet too.
He was a poet.
Fascinating. What a fascinating human being.
He sure was.
And an advocate of rights and justice. And, you know, wow, what an amazing human being. There'll never be another Ali, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. And you know, you can't find me other than on my YouTube. So probably Catman Bill or Catman Bill Katz, where I have about 15 songs.
All right. Thank you for that. Check out his work and I'll see you soon, Catman.
Thank you.
Bill. All right. I just want to shout out Lila's ovaries because Lila got some big ovaries. She was like, you canceled me. I was on the list and she called me sus. In Hungary, they talk like that. I thought that was only in the Bronx. Like that's mad suspect. Damn, Lila. No, when you're not canceled, it's just, we only go to 25. Ask everybody. We only go up to 25. You're on the waiting list. She's like, I sus, you sus. I know you're up at like 3 in the morning though. I give you props for that. But everybody, show some love to Lila's ovaries. And speaking of ovaries, let's go. Monica Berger, AKA Metronome, AKA Shoe Game on Fleek.
Yes. So before the shoes, in tribute to Ali.
Dang! Yo.
Here are the shoes.
Wow, you don't play games. Monica Berger don't play games.
Good to see you. And I'm sorry for your loss, big loss. And 1973, that's revolutionary. What a badass. So thank you.
Thank you. Oh my God, that's so crazy. You had boxing gloves and he just sang to Ali. Can we get some props for the synchronicity? Can you see how spirits speak? Can you see how this
Seriously
works?
That's no joke.
Just incredible. It's beyond. And the more you acknowledge it, the more you see it.
All the time.
And all the time. But for 2 seconds, I thought they were huge earrings. She was like,
that would be dope. I'd wear them.
So what you gonna do for us today, Monica?
All right, some new shit.
Woo, new shit. Take it away.
All right, thank you. Slip and load the hip, make them miss and make them pay, then swag out. The genius is the exodus. Movement forward, love for the freedom within the fight for your right to live a full life. Resist the fake sparkle, blood clot vampire. No need to be sucked alive and not live a full life. Save your energy for the truth and your cup runneth over like a waterfall. Hoover up the mites and parasites, shake off the dust, the heaviness this life brings. Shake my wings underneath my human fit. Here to learn the lessons, fight for the justice and resist the gaslight that's on every newscast. Fuck the fake. fake. All that I want is the authentic swag and not the wolf pack masses that believe the narcissist up on his pulpit, getting all the good treatment in his old sickly body when thousands are dying. What the fuck? Share your meds, stash in your whites only house. Thank God you are finally being evicted and segregated, and the segregated signs are finally being torn down. I use Jah words and give thanks and praises to the Almighty, grateful for your consciousness. I'm so glad I see the world the way it is, and I'm not blinded by the bullshit. Fuck the Pollyannas that are so scared of their own shadow. Stand up and fight for the human rights and make sure you're on the right side, because if you're not, they don't give a fuck. Your loyalty to your party means nothing. They don't care for you. They only bend down low for the one thing, and that's the almighty dollar. They will suck dick for their green cheddar. Their only allegiance is their power, money, and greed. That's what they worship. You're just in the way after your vote is in the ballot. Pure vision is what this year's about. Babylon fall, and I get to finally clear my wheels. Don't care who falls. I'm sickened by the racists driving down my street just the other day with a Confederate flag plate. You are a disgrace in your Billy Larry ride. I'm sharper than a razor, and I will slice through your greater than thou persona. Your identity is going through foreclosure, and I'm going to keep my voice and my choice. Fuck you to all that have contributed to the pain of my brothers and sisters. You should be ashamed. Finally, the true lingo is being televised in the mainstream. There's a reason why Bob Marley's music is still relevant. Nothing has changed. Just blatant racism is nothing new. When George Floyd was murdered, I heard white people say I had no idea. Why not? Why don't you remember Diallo 41 shots pulling out his wallet in 1999, Wyclef only one Wayland, and there were many more atrocities before and since. Since America was born, it was built on murdered and raped blood. Your default should only be outrage. If you're not paying attention, pay attention. Swipe your cards and pay for your attention. Pay attention. If it was a snake, it would bite you in the face. Pay fucking attention. Pay attention. Open your eyes and put your money down on attention. Pay attention.
Yes, Monica. Oh man. Jeff Cottrell was like he was hungry for a Monica burger, and you brought the goods.
Nice.
Yes, Queen. And
Thank
shout out
you.
to Amadou Diallo. That's my precinct here in the Bronx. That did
Wow.
that. 43rd precinct. I'm right here.
Wow.
And that was just, oh my gosh.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just pulling out his wallet.
Just pulling out his wallet. And it's so close. It's just right there. It's like, I think it's Ward Avenue, and you could still, see bullets and marks on the building. And
oh my God.
Yeah. It's
1999. It's insane.
It feels like it was not even that long ago too.
No, exactly.
Because of what we witnessed over it, it's like against.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the surprise. Like, excuse me, this has been going on. Don't fucking be surprised.
Yeah.
That's what just.
You brought the boxing gloves with the word.
Yeah. We'll fight.
Powerful. Thank you, Monica.
Thank you.
Much love to you.
Love you.
Yes, love you, Monica Burger, man. Ain't playing no games. Shit.
Plan.
All right. So now let's go to Joski C. Let's see what Joski C is gonna have us swimming in tonight.
Hola, Bruja.
Joski.
Coming through?
Coming through loud and clear.
Beautiful. Hey, I've got a poem and a song, and the poem is New Shit.
Ooh, new shit.
Yeah. So I had some surgery about a week and a half ago, and I'm doing great. But I wrote this about that, sort of. This is called Surgery. I said to the doctor, I'm empty and cold. She peeped through the incision like a butcher's window, saw organs hung like frozen meats, shaved ice like rosé sleet piled beneath the surgeon's hands. She is shivering, uncomfortable, but I warned her not to diagnose the winter longings of the old.
Was you trying to get your organs, man? What happened?
Yeah. Got some things rearranged, you know, it's all good though.
I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. And, you know, my heart goes out to everybody in this time of grieving. So I didn't know I would do this, but I'm going to do a song I wrote called Above the Mountain. And this song is for anyone who may need it. And when this life is through, and it's time to go, I'll leave that up to you. Your eyes are open wide, curious to see what's on the other side. You fly above the mountain, fly above the river, fly above the ocean. You taught me how to live with your shining ways. You showed me how to give. These overflowing hearts are a gift to carry with you when we part. When you fly above the mountain, fly above the river, fly above the forest. And when this life is through, and it's time to go, I'll leave that up to you. These overflowing hearts are a gift to carry with you when we part. When you fly above the mountain, fly above the river, fly above the forest, fly above the ocean.
Woo, Joski C. Fly above the mountain. That was so great. Oh, you had us all flying over the river, the mountains. It was so beautiful. Thank you. You always bring that heartfelt tune. You know, you always do. You have such a gift. Joski C, everybody.
Thank you, Kula, and thank you, everyone.
You could look in the chat for yourself and see just how much people were feeling it. Pork con queso was like, it's hitting. it's hitting. The withdrawn was like, my heart, Elizabeth, I'm coming to join you.
Oh my goodness. Oh, oh.
You
There are
touched
so many surprises at the New Yorican. Gotta say, I never know. Thank you, everyone. Much love to everyone.
Mwah. Much love to you. Fabulous. All right. So now let's hear from Marco Romeo.
How are you?
All right. How are you doing, Marco?
I'm great. Just give me 1 second.
Getting into your monologue mode. You're gonna
Sure. Yeah, I'm getting into monologue, I guess you can call it that. I don't know what to really call it yet. You see this forward lean? This forward lean courtesy of her finger wagging through my mind's eye. All like, pick your battles, stand up straight. Make up your mind. If I'm not crouched over the display, I'm hiding beneath it. That way my decision can't pick me. My decision can't pick me. No rounds in this ring. Alls I'm punching, I'm just going to keep punching these hours. That's all. By the way, do my licks even sync to the tick your clock's making? You know, because my heroes, if Wikipedia, steered me right, had their backs already. They were writing chapters on barely any ink, and yet the old biography channel took, 2 hours to thumb through every syllable, no problem. No problem. Let's see, it's 10:53, so by 11:59, the kid from Long Island will be commanding 20 million per picture, while the kid from beneath the comforter will be squinting over a blue light trying to figure which route'll make him an hour early. And by the way, that 12-year-old is still around. Motherfuckers passed so much of my bedtime. All like, you got this. Be the natural Moms Mutual's heart react you are. Bam, it'll be your talking head blushing on someone else's 24-inch, expecting none of this would happen. In bands Black and Jack, shit sounds dope. P? Yeah, waiting on a thunderbolt to fill an empty Poland Spring is a hell of a lot cheaper than spending 4 years in the dorm till a hat's in the air. But I mean, how long do I cling to a notion my legacy could rival those of masters? How high should I reach for an ideal where they see a bouquet and forget I'm this wallflower, and all the Lord of the Rings, both the last Avengers and each Harry Potter are combined the same length as my dick? How high, people? What do I do? Do I jump through hoops? I just let them burn? Hang out? See how the phoenix rises from the ash this time? Never hurt to watch the wings spread. Whether it soars up heaven, when it soars up heaven. There you go. There you go. Thank you.
Yes, Marco Romeo.
Thank you.
Yo,
Thank
man.
you.
You're intense. You wrote that? You wrote all of that? You write all your monologues?
Yeah. Yeah, I write them all. They're actually, I actually I called them poems, but I guess they're evolving into something different. So I don't really know what they are yet. But
You're being called Marco De Niro by Paul Conqueso right now. I'm gonna call you Eddie Murphy because he laughs like Eddie Murphy too. He's Marco De Niro Murphy. Thank you, Marco. Thank you. Let everybody know how to follow you.
Oh, right now it's just Facebook, my full name, Marco Romeo. I'm gonna actually like work on getting some things because I'm tired of answering that question like that. So I want to have like an actual like,
All right.
present. So that's coming.
Great. Goals. Thank you, Marco.
Thank you.
That.
Thank you.
All right. So now let's go with Karen. Karen, tell me how to pronounce your name.
Hi.
Your last name is Schlesinger?
Schlesinger.
Schlesinger.
Right. Forget the CH, just Schlesinger.
Schlesinger.
So this is my second time here. I'm so glad to be back. And I just wanted to tell you guys something about me because, I feel like I'm starting to be part of this group. So I recently retired, and coupled with the coronavirus, I've had a lot of time to like think about what I want to do. And one of the things I wanted to explore was stand up, right? So because heretofore I haven't had time for stand up. Could you tell I was an English teacher? Anyway, one of the things is that I've been playing around with is this stand up, but the problem is I'm old. So I thought maybe I should do sit down. And now with the coronavirus, I'm like pretty much doing lay down. So speaking of the pandemic, I'm really good about wearing a mask. You know what? I decided I love it. You know why? Because now I don't need a facelift. You guys are seeing my face, but nobody sees my face. So I figure I'm saving all this money, not having to do that. This is like great. I had really wanted to do it, but what the fuck? Anyway, but now I'm thinking I could spend that money doing something on something I've really wanted for a long time. Implants, implants. Okay, you're saying, well, what's the difference with the implants? But you feel the implants, you know what I mean? The facelift people see, but the implants, you could feel them, and things have been kind of like wobbly lately. So I'm really getting excited just talking to you about implants because I think they're art. I think they're organic and shapely and firm. And I'm going to call my dentist the first thing in the morning. So, and I don't know what to do about my hands. The mask thing I could do and everything, but I don't know what to do about my hands. I'm great about washing them, but I feel like my face is young and my hands are old. Look at these hands, because I keep washing them every time I want. They feel like wearing away or something and just like wrinkling. And I don't know what to do with my hands. But the good thing is the CDC doesn't say wash your neck all the time, because I don't know what I would do with this neck if I had to do that. And I'm sure that you understand when I tell you I've been concerned about myself because I feel like I'm in a fog a lot of the time. I'm really forgetful. Like I said, did I take my vitamin D? Where are my glasses? I don't know. So I decided, you know what? I have to take care of myself. So I went to the doctor and I sat down on the examining table and I said, Dr. Sachs, I'm afraid I have early onset. He said, oh, you don't have to worry about that, Karen. I was so relieved. I don't have to worry about that. I don't? I asked. He said, it's a little late for early onset. Now I can't figure out if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm so confused. So I hope I made you laugh at least.
Yes, Karen Schlesinger.
Sure.
Sure. With that sit down poetry, I love
Lay down, lay down.
I love it.
Thank
You're
you.
a genius, and it's never ever too late, man. Look, you did stand up, sit down tonight, and we had a loving. You could see. Oh my God, people are asking you to please be a regular. Please, you're a natural. You're a natural. Hilarious, great, so funny. Thank you. I wish you had been my English teacher.
We'd have fun.
Well, you're teaching me things still now here. So thank you, Karen. Many blessings to you. Thank you so much for your comedy, for your sense of humor, and for all of it. Hope to see you again soon. All right. Ron is ready. Ron is ready to go. Ron MT, how are you, sir?
I am doing okay. Labua, Karen, that was so funny. I love that we have Bonita and Karen here to give us a little uplift, little comedy, and Labua, that this was a great tribute you did to Miguel at the beginning 2 hours ago, your poetry, that was so moving. And I'm grateful for Miguel. If he hadn't founded the cafe many, many years ago, what would we do during the pandemic now? I mean, just imagine that, As I expressed in my poem last week on Monday, this online Zoom, Mondays and Thursdays, it literally has saved me. It's one of the few bright things during the pandemic. It made me write. I met so many new friends. Lind in the chat mentioned that it's like church, and I agree. It's church for us, it nourishes our souls. So, I appreciate everyone. You're going to think I'm on drugs because I'm going to read you a poem that I wrote this morning, and the title is Do Not Listen to My Poem. And here it goes. Don't listen to my poem if you're expecting a masterpiece. I ain't no TS or robot. Don't read my poem if you want excellence. My name is not Langston or Dr. Meyer. Don't listen to this poem in the evening drinking wine or beer. It may get you thirsty for a lot more. You may get drunk after hearing what I have to say. Don't experience this poem on an empty stomach. It will make you hungry. You'll end up with junk food, great craving for lots of unhealthy choices. However, please don't listen to my poem in your kitchen, especially if you have tomatoes in the fridge. I don't want you to throw them at me. Don't tune into my poem while binge watching The Tiger King. You may miss many minutes, and then you'll have to rewind and rewind again and again. Don't listen to this poem outdoors in the cold air. Instead, go inside, get cozy, warm your heart, sit in front of Zoom with our fellow poets on Mondays or Thursdays. You know what? Do listen to this poem if you don't mind some silliness in your life. Do listen to this poem if you need a smile on your face, if you need to be lifted. Listen to my poem if you don't mind that it's not perfect and I'm the least handsome guy you saw online today. Listen to this poem if you need motivation, a reason to go on. Listen to my poem to give you energy, to write your own lines a whole lot better than mine. Thank you for listening. The end.
Ooh, Ron! You wrote that today, Ron?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Oh my goodness. You made me smile. You lifting everybody's spirits. Don't listen to that poem while driving drunk.
Exactly. Yes.
That's what Advocate of Words said. The muse hit you. hit you today, and it's so good because you seized it, you wrote it, and then you got to say it on the very same day. Isn't that a blessing?
Well, you guys are a blessing, everyone here. You, La Bruja, Advocate, and everyone else performing and watching. Let's not forget the audience. Without, we need them just as much as the performers,
Oh, so thoughtful. Oh my God. And I love your accent. I just love it. It's just great.
Thank you. And on that note, since Marco mentioned, Marco, get yourself a sign. This is how you can find me. Ron Mark Thompson, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. This Sunday, I'm going to be one of the 3 featured readers at the Creative Expressions New York City online salon at Sunday at 5 o'clock, and it also has an open mic feature in it, so I'll put the Eventbrite link in for this. And I'll see you, if I don't see you Sunday, I'll see you back on Monday. Thank you, everyone.
Hey, beautiful, beautiful work. Ron is just sunshine on a cold winter night. Okay, so let's hear now, go all the way to Cali and hear the music of Bill Elkins.
Hi, La Bruja. Liked your poem this morning, early at the beginning of the session. I was going to do a different, more upbeat song, but given the tenor of tonight's session, I've changed to something a little more somber and addressing loss. The name of the song, it's an original, it's called Ode to My Jane Doe, that I wrote many years ago. I hope you like it. One, two, three, four. Where is your spirit now, dear friend, now that you're no longer here? A spirit that pushed me to sing my song with honesty and cheer. You gave a damn and believed in me in spite of my youth. I sang your song at the avant-garde, but you weren't there to hear. Like a wayward checker on a chessboard, I went through the motions with fear. As I heard myself singing that fateful night, my eyes welled up with tears. 'Cause my sixth sense told me that something dreadful happened to you. You excited me and frightened me, mystical dark angel so true. You saw something in me I couldn't see or thought I could do. I was a babe in your woods, a diamond in your rough. You would often say, you took me under your wing, helped me believe in myself. But you are dead today. Oh, you are dead today. Where is your spirit now, dear friend, now that you're no longer here? You were my folk singer hero, with a voice so beautiful and true. You called yourself Flash, not your given name, Mary, the hip thing to do in those days. So you will remain Jane Doe in death, as I sardonically called you in life. But your name no longer matters, your songs will no longer be sung. Those dark demons you suppressed by day finally got you in the night. So goodbye, sweet Jane, you died tragically and way too goddamn young. Goodbye, sweet Jane, you died tragically and way too goddamn young. Thank you.
That one I So thank you, Bill. Thank you for that beautiful song. Left too goddamn young. Thank you. Xanadu was on the list, but I don't think Xanadu's
Here's here, Xanadu here.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. It's called Obama 2 poetry today because we have a new president, which is a friend of Obama. Yeah, and I've read all the books Obama has made. I think he was the best president because he was an artist president. I will read some poems today called Justice for João Alberto. Yeah, João Alberto is someone from Latin America who became a victim of police brutality. Yeah, first, the oldest haiku, the internet says, old pond, frog leaps in, water's sound. Yeah, it's a 2, 3, 4 haiku. I've made it into, I've made it into red plus yellow is green minus blue. Justice for João Alberto. Yeah, and now do you know João Alberto? No. Okay, João Alberto, maybe you can just find on internet João Alberto, a victim of police brutality in Latin America. So I will go on with some poems from Uruguay, again from a museum, MNAV Montevideo. Spatial Projection is a poetical portrayal of Eduardo Lapaitis Vicunaite Projection Español. Advanced mathematics like meteor in orbit to evening sky, like ellipsis turned inside out to reshape a circle, talking to its outsides like a theatrical monologue to none and all. And from the same museum, a Miro-esque painting, Louis A. Solan, 1958, Grand Fantasmon, a serious Miro-esque in black painter head to body, sticking out axes, tridents, lenses, spears from all over his face, equals body, equals ears, while only feet are human stability. And the next one again, Geometrics by José Pedro Castigliolo, 1970, Quadrados 84. Squares like squares never became cubes in two-dimensional fantasy to Castigliolo. Reds about to reds in red top and near bottom to onto down life. Next, there are a few whites here and there, like diacritical spaces to austere languages. 89 quadrados add finally up to tricolor canvas. And Picnic, the last poem, poetical portrayal of Pedro Figari, 1925, Picnic, under highs of azure, marine and clouds, when the sun is shining, moony in the very center. That is, when moon is shining sunny, we witness a Uruguayan picnic underneath. The painting centers on high tree, about triple man's size, where a vehicle has been parked right next door to Alice in Wonderland. Since 20 figures and figurines dot the landscape like flowers and colors, the extended green of grass. Okay, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yes.
Yes.
Bringing the poetry tonight.
Yeah, all poetical portrayals of painting. So the first originality was with the painter, but I guess I've made it into a surreal poem that can exist by itself.
Yes, you
Yeah.
did. You did.
I hope. Yeah.
Thank you, Xanadu.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
That was
Thank you.
beautiful. I really enjoyed it.
Yes, thank you.
Woo! Yes, evolving. Our poets is just getting stronger. I love it. So,
Yeah.
you want to let us know how to follow you, Xanadu?
Yeah, I will send a message on the chat.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Xanadu.
Yeah.
Do. Okay, now let's get enmeshed with. I want to get into
Hey,
an announcement. Hello.
hello, La Bruja. Hello, Advocate. How are you?
Very good to see you.
I won't take much time. I will straight away start.
Okay.
Fret not. Fret not. Nothing is permanent. You are going to die at any moment. That was the first one. Kept boxes of hate in his heart. Kept boxes of hate in his heart. In no time, love was locked inside. That was the second one. The third one, imposter plundered the village. Imposter plundered the village. Villagers lost their face, mask, status, truth, brutally unmasked. The third one. Then this is a short poem. Like a river flowing nonchalantly in one direction, through valleys and mountains, sometimes laughing loudly as a waterfall, sometimes crying silently like water in a pond. Survived the parched lands, deserts, loveless nights. Memories of loved one kept him alive. He lived for memories. Memories served him well. Summer, spent waiting for the rain. Lips were as parched as the land. Every drop of water worth its weight in life. He didn't even waste his tears. Why waste tears for things unchanging? Things did not change. With time, he changed. Old things still mattered. Life made more sense. Change do change you sometimes. Status quo changes you beyond recognition. Change do change you sometimes. Status quo changes you beyond recognition. Thank you.
Unmesh. You made me weepy. You're
Oh,
such a poet. You're just such a natural poet. Miguel Algarin would have loved you.
thank you. I'm so honored.
Yes, he would have loved you because I certainly love you. And you got right to the poem the way he loved. And then you're like, you're all gonna die. Fret not. I love that. You're amazing. Unmesh, all the way from India. I love our poetic community. I'm so glad you're a part of it.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I just wanted to say something that some people are different. Some people make a difference in somebody's life. So if Miguel has made a difference in Advocate's life or your life, it is impacting our lives as well. It has a cascading effect. And I really think we are really thankful for that to New Rican Cafe and all of you, because it's all love and poetry has saved all of us. I'm very sure. Everyone, even whoever listens poetry, whoever writes poetry, as Advocate says, it's because of the pain, right? And yeah,
Mwah.
thank you.
Beautiful. So moving, so touching.
Thank you.
All right. I look forward to hearing you again soon. And now we're going to go to our final poet of the evening, none other than Paul Conqueso.
Y'all throwing the pressure on me, bro. And I gotta follow Unmesh also? Like, damn, I can't begin a piece like we all shall die and be put into the earth. Like, it's not going down like that. I'm sorry.
But your beard is on fleek, though.
Thank you. I'm on full conquistador, I guess. So yeah, I felt everybody's energy tonight, and it's been like real somber. I felt it from like the second I stepped in the room, and I'm like, damn, and I felt like really heavy. So I have a piece I'm gonna end us with that's a little bit lighter and a little bit jokey. I was gonna read this last week for the Thanksgiving Super Show, but I missed it because I was spending some family time. So I wanted to make up for that with my second fam. So this is called Family Affair. It's a family affair. The family's all here. Pull up a chair and let me lead y'all in a family prayer. At the head of this festive table, we're all grateful for our humble hosts, carving up new shit, popping cherries and giving themes to push our limits. Our ship's captivating captains, advocate sandwich between Auntie Catherine and Miss Diane Ward. Can we just stuff those three in Miro's cabin and see what happens when their attraction combusts into chemical reaction? It's a family affair. The family's all here. Pull up a chair and let me lead y'all in a family prayer. It's a holiday. Though we all stuck in quarantine, you shouldn't be alone. Pick up your speakerphone and let La Bruja give a rattle or two to your raccoon's penis bone. Queen of indecent poems, she'll never see the throne. So tell Miss Molinari to back down, the real teacher's home. Don't let withdrawn here, because if withdrawn's near, he'll demand she make a plate and take a seat on his face like, come here. If homie has his way, he'll gladly turn this place into a menage a 44. I mean, however many folks are here. Hey, advocate, how come withdrawn never writes about us sexually? It's hurtful how left out we be, like Will Smith crying into Uncle Phil. How come you don't want me, man? Family function flipped into artist seduction faster than Antoinette can turn on her operator voice, or Wendy Jackson can grab her masquerade. But don't sweat, we ain't getting incestuous just yet, because it's a family affair. The family's all here. Pull up a chair and let me lead y'all in a family prayer while we're in this Zoom room, waiting on trolls to vroom through, throwing out booze and saying pyum pyum. If you don't know yet, don't worry, you'll hear from Chance soon. Overdose and baby over Tris, keeping it wholesome with coquito costumes and baked goods. Sam Park will get you baked good with the hookah smoke and curated playlist from Zaddy Beats. Loading up the Astro RV for a family trip to the Paul Skiff verse now. Wordiverse, where chants and incantations heal that pent up hurt. Tez and Mr. Speaker penning lessons. Scott Pleasance and Norm Mathematics guiding our path home like constellations of stars lighting the dark. Cue up a bass line from Joski C and blend it into Critica's harmony. Let Catman, Bill, and Elkins keep the beat before we end the set with some Vernita and Karen comedy, followed by some F-Control absurd limericks. Oh shit, because it's a family affair. The family's all here. Pull up a chair and let me lead y'all in a family prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept what I cannot change and remain sane, even in the case I'm asked to follow Ray Jane, Christina on that run, sweat, eat, repeat wellness tip. Miro, Andy, and Nick all bound together, fighting the fight for Gaia on the best impression of Captain Planet shit, centering rings, joining the elements, words bleeding like elephants in the presence of the divine. We are all animals. NYC to Tokyo, we wait upon cinematic pageantry of a man who can verbally cut us like sashimi blade and serve our hearts on a slab. He protect, he attack. But most importantly, he poetac. Joshua Love on the track, Kaya Max with the back-to-back, Boo Love like Jenna and Zach, Metronome bringing flows, and Ron Mark Thompson with the levity, Unmesh's prophetic brevity, Michael Sindler's art and reverie, Elise with that Jersey girl attitude, Dane Ince with perverse platitudes, and when Phil takes the stage, you know it's about to go from 9 to midnight. Net, Vega, Raz, and my Rosie combining power of three Boricuas, packing that sugar, spice, and everything nice like some nostalgic Powerpuff Girls pack punches of lyrical artillery. You know that we a family affair. The family's all here. Pull up a chair and let me lead y'all in a family prayer. Daddy Rich got baby Glennon in the crib near the kids' table. Perhaps we should let him head off and catch a nap. You know how that tryptophan slaps, catching the itis like it's an STD. We will outlive and beat. We all got the recipe, leftovers to the 10th degree. Slap some cheese on that turkey sandwich tomorrow and call it a pavon con mi. It's a family affair. The family's out here. Pull up a chair and let me lead y'all in a family prayer. Yet we keeping it live. This poet society going full tilt in the house that Miguel Agarin built, pouring a shot or two of rum, beating the primal drum for our founder who has become one with the ancestral plane. Watching our Zoom Watching our Zoom room from his bar stool in the ether on the other side of Avenue C, paying tribute to the man who established these hallowed halls we all call home, poetic mecca of Loisato with brick walls and a small 4x4 stage. And can I just say, in this year, we all lost so much and existed purely on fear and survival. Half the time, it's been nice to find a tribe, a place to call our own, somewhere we can come and unload and yet still feel heard, because the antithesis of death is not merely to live, but to create. And that's why we are here today. Creation reverberating within confines of this vibrant space, to have a group of folks I can claim as extended blood, my New York fam. Yeah, we break bread and toast and shoot the shit, drink a bit and give thanks for every piece of offering, live every day breathing as it's a holy day, a holiday. Now finally, can we bow our heads and offer tribute to the gods of poetry? Let us give thanks to them for giving us space to vent, for bringing us here, keeping us together these past 9 months, and infinite more to come. And in poetry's name, amen.
Amen. And our women too. Thank you, Paul con queso. Oh my God.
Humans.
That was so beautiful.
I appreciate y'all. This place has felt like a home to me. In the good and the bad, we laugh, we grieve, we console each other. And so many people here have been there for me in turbulent times. And I just wanted to try and crack a smile on y'all's faces because I love you.
Wow, what a perfect way to end this evening.
And Miguel would have wanted that.
Yes.
Now screw that, man. Screw withdrawn. He didn't write about us, man. He shouldn't have
Yeah,
made
man.
it into
Why-
your poem.
Why doesn't he want to squeeze our butts, man? Like, come on.
Right? You know, we got to make our own WAP video now,
Yeah.
Paul. Me and you, okay? And we're going to put our tush in it. And
Yeah.
Withdrawn's going to write about us.
Yeah. Oh my God. Let's do it. Let's wrap it up, Advocate.
Wrap it up. I'm all
Words and Paul, WAP.
It's perfect. It was made for us. Words and Paul. We coming for you, Withdrawn. Look out.
If y'all want to follow me at Paul con queso on IG and Venmo, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for the space.
Oh man. Oh, I can't wait. Don't disappoint me now. Don't just talk shit. Don't talk shit, y'all. Y'all need to come now with the WAP. I'm ready for it. You guys are amazing. All of you have made me feel so happy so many times. I just love you guys, and I just don't know what else to say. It was a beautiful, beautiful night in the memory of Miguel Algarin and all of us that have lost someone, all of us, you know, their spirits are with us and they feel the love too. I know it. And wow, this is historic. This is legacy. This is life. This is everything. This is family, community. This is healing. This is church. This is all of it. All of it. This is high. This is low. This is high. This is bye. I gotta go. I love you. Buenas noches. Thank you. Thank you, Advocate of Words, our Monday night host. Make sure to tune in on Monday. Get on that list. Thank you so much. I love you. I love you. I'm with you. I am with you. I am with you in your sorrow and in your joys. I am with you. Thank you, Olivia, who was working the board tonight for the first time. Olivia, thank you. You did amazing. Give it up for Olivia. And we did it. We did it for Miguel.